Welcome on in, everyone. You found the right place. It's Grip TV, and today we got the classic Lotus Grand Prix race with Jimmy B right here. And I'm joined with Judson Kane, main Grip TV commentator. And here it is, folks, the pre-race breakdown. How you doing, Judson?
Very good, Malone. We're here at Road America for the last week of Season 1 for the 79 Lotus Grand Prix. A lot of familiar faces will be attending this race as people are trying to take care of business, get their championship points in line to finish out the season and have the success in which they've invested in all season long. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great, and man, it's just a beautiful day, and it's going to be one heck of a race, and like you said, it's getting down to the wire here, folks, and these guys are really pushing everything they got to get those championship points. And we're here at Road America. The race is going to be beginning soon, and we're just going to do a little pre-race breakdown here. We got some people checking in. This is all happening live right here on Twitch, and we got a bunch of people going to be watching this race here. It's just fun to have everyone in. And man, it's just great to be up in the booth with you, Judson. We met halfway here, and it's just going to be wild stuff here. And so, what do you think about the race here? It's going to be wild, huh?
Yeah, as we're coming into the last week, there's been some interesting developments since we first accessed this series 3 weeks ago. We saw in Suzuka, Japan, Nuno Moreira is currently second in the standings overall for the season. He finished second against Matt Pawlowski. Matt Pawlowski right now is third in the overall standings for this championship. They are about 50 points apart. This race could have defined who was going to take home third and second this week to finish off this championship standings. There's some other familiar names. John G. Hill is 11th in the season standings. Roy Cunningham, 12th. We have Barry West, who's been popular in our races, is down in 15th. Now, there's 2 or 3 guys that I want to say who's been in kind of engaged in the most battles throughout every week that we've had so far, and that is the name of Robert Simpkins, Fabian Gerber, and Julio Cesar Hauer. I want to start off by saying Hauer, who is 18th in the championship standing points, has been the biggest gainer throughout this entire events that what we've been covering. He doesn't qualify. He starts out in the back, and he's been the biggest gainer as far as positions go, race in and race out. This guy's showing a lot of flash, tremendous talent, and he's definitely in contention for some success this season. Fabian Gerber, who has been middle of the pack, drives very conservatively, takes care of the championship points over this series. We haven't talked a lot about this season since we're going to be jumping in next season, but he has put himself in 17th place, and in his own division, I believe he's fighting for second place, which is Division 2. And then Robert Simpkins, of course, we've seen him go up and down. Fabian Gerber, Simpkins have battled it out for 2 of our weeks. I could see that, the likes of Jean-Francois Boscus, 14th in the standings right now. All familiar names should be coming together here for this race to take care of some business. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. There's not too many more races left to go in this season, and like I said, these guys are going to try to do everything they can to get as many championship points as possible. It's super important for these guys, as we know, with this really tight group of the Lotus 79 community, and everybody knows each other's name, and they all know each other's points total, and there's nothing out. Nobody's guessing. We know exactly what's going on, and so it's really important for these guys to show up here Thursday for the strength of field race and really put it all together. And we just got done watching some qualifying. We saw our very own Jimmy B, which, by the way, head on over to twitch.tv/Jimmy_BEE. He is the stinging bee, Jimmy Broadbent, to watch his in-car view of the entire race. And he was able to put up a pretty good qualifying time. So what do you think? Ought to put him up mid-pack, upper mid-pack or so. That's right in the sweet spot, right where the action happens. So it'll be interesting to see how good of a start he gets, and away they go, So should be a lot of fun.
Jimmy has been known to be in middle pack since he started this series. He has tremendous starts. Road America on the Road America straight start-finish line into turn 1. There's some opportunity to really get some legs there if he can take advantage, or the leaders may run away with it. So early start could be important for him to get into contention to possibly win this thing or get a podium finish. So expect some pressure early for this guy, and hopefully he can hold up to it and use patience for the rest of the race to really get himself into contention area. Interesting fact is that from the conversations I've had with Matt Pawlowski earlier today, it sounds like due to restrictions with his car, he might not, or he's probably not participating in this race. And as we know, the last three races, he's really ran away with it. So it's disappointing as far as how this championship is starting to line up and our coverages here. But we definitely wish him the best, and we can't wait to see him next season.
Yeah, that's right. He may not be participating in the race, but he'll be spectating just to see what kind of times these guys are putting out. Because as you know, iRacing allows you to go in and spectate and test drive in any type of race. So I think he'll have his ears close to this one. But just to give you a little info here, we are going to be at Road America, beautiful Road America. It's going to be 24 laps. It is a standing start. 77 degrees out, partly cloudy. Not much wind to speak of, and we do talk about these standing starts. There was some discussion a couple weeks ago about some of these guys, how different strategies they have with the standing start. It's so important to get off to a good start with these races, try to get up on, try to get a couple positions right off the bat. And some of these guys have unfortunately had a stop and go penalty because their car kind of rolls forward. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of start these guys can get. Hopefully everyone can get off clean and we can get a good race going here. But Judson, we got some theories of the race. What's your keys of the race today, buddy?
All right, the Judson theories of the race. Theory number one, dancing the throttle, going to be critical at this track. We went from a highly technical driver's track of Suzuka. We are now in the meat of Road America, which is going to be our favorite, the fans track. There's going to be a lot of overtaking. These turns, a lot of sharp hand turns, 90-degree turns. We have a sweeper of a carousel, the kink. We have Mitchell Bend, and finally turn 14, which is all going to require these drivers to take absolute care on how they dance with the throttle, not only to get the car around the turn, but to keep the grip so that they can leverage the straights of Moraine Sweep or Road America Straight or even Kettle Bottoms. So dancing that throttle is going to be incredibly important, and who can get the grip early enough so that they can throttle through early apex and leverage some overtaking opportunities from these straights. The second theory of Judson's theories is leveraging the draft. Suzuka, you had tight lines that we saw last week, and there wasn't many overtaking opportunities. Overtaking was a premium. It was very hard earned. Here, we have long straights where these big spoilers in the rear end of these Lotus 79s is going to generate a lot of disturbed air for these cars to leverage draft opportunities. We have turn 1, turn 3, even turn 5, which are tremendous opportunities to use draft to get into a position where you can brake late and get overtake. So expect to see a lot of that. If you have a driver that is within draft distance, all that hard work that you've done through the turning complexes is going to be lost with these drafts, and it's going to be incredibly frustrating for these drivers. And finally, the last one, defending your line. Suzuka, we didn't have to worry about that. You had, Suzuka demands you to fall in line, be patient for a driver in front of you to have a mistake, and that's how you got past. Here, it's all going to come down to how you can defend the car behind you. And as you can tell with the other two theories in this race, they all kind of lead into this defending your line. Who's going to effectively be able to defend their line, be conscious of the driver behind them, brake late, and really disrupt their own driving line in order to keep their position. That's going to be a huge discipline for these drivers, and if they can pull this off, they're going to see success today.
That's right, and boy, those are some really good theories of the race there, Judson. That was Judson's theories of the race right here at the Classic Lotus Grand Prix pre-race breakdown right here on Grip TV. So thanks everybody for joining as we are just getting going here, and we're going to head on into the server. You found the right place, folks. It's Grip TV, and head on over to griptv.org. Become part of the community. Get yourself signed up on those forums. We want to hear from you, folks. So
I want to I want to get a quick nod, Jimmy or Matt, before we jump into this race. Our very own Eric Patterson. I may have bullied him into a GT3 race last night. I didn't know it was his first race, but Eric Patterson finished 13th place last night in his first ever GT3 race. Congratulations to him. I'm sure he's probably celebrated last night. It was a fantastic finish. Good for him. Let's get busy.
Oh, congratulations, and we're just going to head on in there, and we're going to give you a little great video that the Classic Lotus Grand Prix guys put together, a little promo video. So check it out, and we'll see you on the track.
Where the drama starts. Lap 30, 8 laps to go. Sam Doble hoping to take advantage of these lapped cars. Pileski goes dives on the right side. Very aggressive here. This is lap 4. The two Viceroys, Bill Frazier ahead of Matt Pileski. Frazier's off. Frazier hit the grass. You hit that tire wall, your day is done. You know, it's lap 20. The Williams still trying to get around the Terrell team as he'll go around the left car and around those at the same time. At the same time. He's got the inside corner. Will he ride the curb? Yes, he will. He will get him on the inside. Vita Maria leading us all into Moss's corner. Look at the beauty as his right side will clip the grass. Oh, a 180, no, a 360. Oh. Who will yield going into this corner? It's really not meant for too wide as it will be Gernald. Gernald will yield. Lots of smoke picking up from that Williams car. He is pushing it to the absolute limit. 26 of 30 now. Only 4 laps to go. He's going to get the run coming out the final corner. He's going to pull up side by side with the leader. It's going to be a drag race to the finish. Who is going to get there first? It's going to be...
Alrighty then, welcome on in everyone to another Grip TV broadcast, and today we got the Lotus 79 Classic Grand Prix, and they're just getting warmed up. Let's take a look at some track conditions as we are here at Road America in Elkhart Lake. Partly cloudy, 77 degrees, 103 degree Fahrenheit track temperature, and the wind coming out of the north at 5 knots. Welcome on in. I'm joined with Judson Kane up in the booth. These guys are going to start gridding up here. And we got Roy Cunningham, Randy Hatches, all out there, folks. So it's going to be wild stuff as they start gridding here. And we're going to take a look at how they will be starting with Roy Cunningham starting pole. And this is a standing start. You see them all there with their I ratings. Man, these guys are good. And it's going to be a pretty high strength of field here. And take it away, Judson, for another Classic Lotus Grand Prix race.
The last race of the season, folks, here at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. The motors are the raspy motors. These Lotus 79s are already humming as we are again anticipating a start to a fantastic race filled with action, overtakes, and a lot of risky defensive moves. The cars are gridding up right now. There's slight hums or revving of engines as they're getting ready to go. The green light about to come on. And they're green light racing. The guys jump out early. Jimmy Broadbent had a bit of a slow start, giving way to Robert Simpkins as they're coming down to the first turn. The two leaders running away with it, Roy Cunningham and Sam Doble. Doble, aggressive from Suzuka, is not stopping here as he's chasing the rear end of Roy Cunningham early on here as they're on their way into turn 3. We have
Roy Cunningham and Sammy Doble 1 and 2 right now.
Julio Cesar Hauer, in his best qualifying effort that we've seen so far, is already in third place. So the big gainer is already up front, starting to loom or bear his way down onto the rear end of Sam Doble as they're coming into the sharp turn 5. Second gear, scary oversteer for that of Julio Cesar Hauer, and he's up in the air. He's up in the air. I think John G. Hill drove right underneath him, and he's off into the grass.
Oh my gosh, we got a helicopter going through. Holy cow. Hopefully no one got injured there too bad, but I know the car was injured. Holy cow. Big fireworks here early on as Roy Cunningham and Sam Doble are just 1 and 2 way out ahead. Jimmy Broadbent able to get third position quick early, right off the start here. Wow, amazing start.
Sam Doble, Roy Cunningham off to an early battle as they gotten through the carousel down the back straight. Time is only going to tell how these two are going to be approaching each other as the draft is going to start to play into this race.
John G. Hill trying to hold off Hatches.
John G. Hill probably limping around as he went underneath the body of Julius Caesar Hauer. We're glad to see that everybody's all right, but that was a nasty turn of events as oversteer really caught the car and flipped it. There's nothing any of the drivers could do, but I'm glad they're okay. We'll see if he goes into the pits.
Yeah, that's true, and we know these strength of field races, these guys are looking for any type of points they can get, and to try to get those early positions right off the bat. It's risk versus reward, folks, and a couple of those guys on the bad receiving end, but we're going to keep it going here is Cunningham and Doble, 1-2, and Jimmy Broadbent not too far away. He's running third place right now.
Mark Winfield peaked on the inside of turn 1, fell back in line behind Sebastien Bourgine. He didn't want to risk it all here on lap 2, but he experienced a bit of oversteers. He's leaving turn 3 and on his way down the straight, just trying to get his car to connect so he can utilize the draft against that of Sebastien Bourgine.
Yeah, John G. Hill, we're taking a look at his front wing right now, and it is badly damaged, so I don't know how long he'll be able to hold off Randy, as Randy's looking to the inside there, but unfortunate for John G. Hill. Suffered some damage early on, but you never know if he keeps it out there. Be able to put together a pretty good finish.
John G. Hill very up in the standings to finish off this championship series, so the result, that unlucky incident, is really going to have a huge impact possibly on how he's going to do standing. So this guy's not only fighting for the battle against Randy Hatches, who was at Suzuka, but he is also battling to keep as many championship points so he can position himself quality at the end of this season.
Yep, and Roy Cunningham currently our leader right now with Sam Doble not too far away. The gap, and as Roy Cunningham gets really loose, Doble got scared there, I think, and went a little bit wide there, but the gap is only 0.7 as they're coming around, and they only got 23 laps to go here. So some action early on as Sam Doble's trying to keep Cunningham honest here.
Sam Doble through the turn of turn 14 had a fantastic exit. It seemed like Roy Cunningham answered with an exit as well, throttling through early apex. Doble using that draft is gaining on him very quickly. He peaks on the inside but decides to fall back in line as they go through turn 1. That's what we're going to see, folks, is who's going to have the guts to break late there. Doble and Cunningham running in. There's plenty of laps to overtake as Doble rolls his brakes through turn 3 and starts to get a run down the straight. We could have an overtake opportunity up here on the next turn 5.
Yeah, and this is where you say when the draft comes into play, this is definitely through Moraine's sweep into turn 5. This is some of the most draft you're going to get.
Doble opting to stay in line as they go through turn 5 and on their way up the hill to turn 6. That uphill can cause some big understeers. The tires almost leave ground. They both navigate that accurately, and off they go.
And Broadbent, we see just kind of hanging out there in third place. Robert Simpkins, we know he is very fast. He's gonna make a run at Jimmy here before too long, as that gap is down to 1.7 seconds now in the early goings here. But Sebastien better be weary of Mark Winfield, as Mark Winfield's trying to work for that 5th position.
Mark Winfield showing glimpse of fast early on in the practice session today. He's really throttling through this carousel with a bit of beauty. Sebastien Bourgine now has to defend as they're going to go through another fast sector on their way down to that turn 12 Canada corner through Kettle Bottoms. Winfield is probably eyeing up a Road America straight overtake draft opportunity, but can he navigate through Canada corner, Thunder Valley, and Bill Mitchell Bend and out through turn 14 and keep it close to the rear bumper of Bourgine? We'll find out.
Yeah, that's right. This is a tricky part of the track is you get through 12, 13, and it's trying to set up turn 14 there through Bill Mitchell Bend. You've really got to get on the throttle as early as possible.
Winfield doing that turn 14 with beauty, and he has early draft down Road America straight on that of Sebastien Bourgine. It's only going to speed up now. He's getting a run on him, folks, but is it going to be close enough to overtake on turn 1? Not so close, so he's going to have to put a little bit more effort in to get that overtake opportunity on Bourgine on turn 1 if he can't get it down more and sweep into turn 5.
Yeah, and then turn 3 is almost just as important as turn 14, as you got a really long straightaway here. Sam Doble still working on Roy Cunningham as they head through turn 5, coming up the carousel here, through turn 6 and 7, through Hurry Downs. That gap is at 0.8 right now with 21 laps to go. Can Roy Cunningham hold on and try to win this thing? He does have the number 5 car, folks, Roy Cunningham. Sam Doble with that number 1 car, very high I rating. And the gap between Jimmy Broadbent and Robert Simpkins now, 2 seconds. So Jimmy's really holding his own out there.
Sam Doble in Suzuka showed how he can apply just an immense amount of pressure on the drivers in front of him. He reminds me of that of Julio Cesar Hauer, who really takes a fight to a driver really quick, really making sure that the driver in front of him might get some kind of mishap, which we just saw through Canada corner. A bit of a shallow line by Roy Cunningham as his hands are full, fending off that of Sam Doble. Sam Doble is just not going to go away, folks. In Suzuka, the driver that was in front of him, I believe, was Fabian Gerber, was very fortunate that Sam Doble had his mistake, but I think Sam Doble's out with revenge, seeing the blood here at Road America, seeing the points possibility and how he's in the mix. Roy Cunningham has his hands full, folks, as Sam Doble is really aggressing into turn 1.
Yeah, and coming over the line there with 20 laps to go. Whoa, and Cunningham gets really loose there into turn 1, but these guys are pulling 156.8s, 156.8. So extremely close here between Cunningham and Doble as Dobie's trying to make another run at it here through turn 3 and 4, down to Moraine sweep into turn 5. Let's see if he can catch any draft here.
Doble has a fantastic run as he escaped turn 3 with a lot of throttle. He's trying to peek on the inside as Cunningham plays the defensive line. Doble has to go back to the outside to try to get a more full turn through turn 5. Hitting the apex early, he's going to get a run up this straight down to turn 6. Cunningham taking a shallow line is having a huge impact as far as the speed goes. Doble is all over him, making him go on all kinds of weird lines as Dobie's trying to find pressure as they're on their way down Hurry Downs into turn 8. Can Doble get on the inside? Cunningham defending that really tight. He doesn't want to give Doble any inkling of an inside line, so Doble is always going to be on for a more full apex until Cunningham makes that bit of a mistake where being shallow, throttling early could lead to an immense oversteer. That's how Dobie's manipulating Cunningham's driving line right now, and this is only going to get more intense as Doble even applies more pressure as they're going through Kettle Bottoms.
Yeah, that's right, and you can just see Sam Doble able to manipulate Roy Cunningham's line as
Dobe side by side with Cunningham. Cunningham opting to take the inside line. Cunningham gets through with a less shallow line again. Dobe has a run through here as they're going through Thunder Valley. Bill Mitchell Bend in turn 14. Dobe has oversteer. He catches it by leading off the throttle. That's a shame because now that puts him back considerably and won't have a run on him down Road America straight.
And Roy Cunningham can take a deep breath now as he saw Dobe get loose there and the gap increased. Holy cow, folks. And you saw Cunningham take the defensive route there through most of those turns. That's because if Cunningham were to give him any type of a window there, Sam Doble would have just snuck right in and maybe able to get the pass. But a beautiful defensive driving by Cunningham, and the gap has increased. Let's go check back in on Mark Winfield and Sebastien. And Mark Winfield trying to get some draft here on Sebastien. This is for 5th position. battle for
Mark
fifth.
Mark Winfield and Bourgine were even as they escaped turn 14, almost mirroring the throttle inputs about mid-apex. They're on their way down to turn 3 right now. Winfield's kept it tight on Bourgine, which gives me an inkling of information that Mark Winfield may be faster than Bourgine, but Bourgine is making sure that it's not going to be easy to overtake on this track. It seems whenever Winfield gets back up and close to Bourgine, Bourgine is just a bit faster through these critical turns in which you can use draft to overtake. Winfield just trying to figure out where he's going to attack Bourgine. It's only about time where we're going to start seeing attacking. Some of these attacks take place as they're waging war.
Yeah, waging war they are, as the gap is down to 0.7 here. Can Mark Winfield try to make a run at it and try to get that top 5 spot? And Jimmy Broadbent into the wall. Let's try to take a look at exactly what happened there to Jimmy Broadbent. Hopefully he can recover quickly as he's coming around. Gets a little bit loose. Gets off into the grass. He's coming around the carousel. Oh, and he tries to set up the carousel just a little bit too much. What happened?
Sam Doble overtook Roy Cunningham outside of carousel through Kettle Bottoms. They're around Canada corner now. Doble got the lead. I'm not sure where, but Roy Cunningham is now viciously trying to attack back to make sure Doble doesn't get comfortable with this lead. They're just around turn 14 down Road America Straight. Roy Cunningham may be in striking distance down to turn 1. We'll see as the draft starts to really speed up Cunningham's car.
Holy cow, a lot of shuffling going on here as we had a lead change. We had Jimmy Broadbent into the wall after trying to set up that carousel. Looks like he might be get back going here, but you're right, Cunningham does not want to let this one slip away as he's going to do everything he can. He's right up on the back bumper of Doble. Wait, I don't think they have bumpers, but he's right on the back of him.
Cunningham has a very aggressive line. He dips onto the outside, already attacking on Sam Doble. Doble on the inside. Cunningham has advantages. He's going to have a full line through turn 5 as long as he can get in front of Doble. They're coming side by side down. Side by side, Cunningham breaks late. They're too wide through turn 5. Cunningham, because he had more room, was able to overtake Doble again. Doble needs to respond as they're on their way up to turn 6. Doble will not put up with Roy Cunningham's attack, but that was a very smart move for Doble because that was risk all going too wide through turn 5.
Holy cow, and Cunningham, like you said, he didn't waste any time trying to get recapture that first place position here with only 18 laps to go. At this point, it's a sprint race, and Sam Doble is just going to sit back here and try to close in that gap and try to make another move.
The mental discipline Sam Doble needs to use in order to just keep himself in his own driving line after getting the lead and having Roy Cunningham take it back. It's going to be straining on him. Absolute frustrations are going to be at peak because he's worked so hard with about 4 or 5 attempts to try to overtake Cunningham. And to get the taste of success and then lose it again so fast is going to be pressuring him. Hopefully Sam Doble doesn't decide to overdrive the car.
Well, Sam Doble has to realize that he passed him once. He can do it again. He has the speed, so he doesn't want to get too aggressive. Like you said, you don't want to overdrive the car at this point. He knows he's got the pace, so just let it come. And with 18 laps to go, Sam Doble's got plenty of time to try to make it run.
Mark Winfield still keeping it close, eyeing Bourgine's habits as they've gone through Canada Corner, through Mitchell Bend on the way to turn 14. Winfield still eyeing up how Bourgine's driving, but keeping it close. There should be an attack sometime soon here as they're on their way down Road America Straight.
Yep, that's right. We just take a look at some of the standings right now. We got a couple guys had to retire. We got number 11 car, Lucas Keurig, running number 9th place right now. John G. Hill.
Sam Doble dipping back to the outside and almost zigzag back to the inside. He has oversteered as he's overbraking into turn 5. Roy Cunningham just complacent with his line that he was taking defensively. Doble had to do his work, having the car swimming over with hard braking pressure. Doble almost lost into the rear end of Roy Cunningham.
Holy cow, folks. Battled it out for the first position here. These guys have been going at the entire race. Sam Doble knows he's got the pace. Can he get caught back up? See, it's one thing to get caught up to the leader. It's another thing to try to pass, and that's a whole nother thing. So it seems like Sam Doble has no problem getting caught up to him, but it seems like he's having some issues trying to get around him here. He was able to do it once. Let's see if he can do it again.
Yeah, that's our third theory of the race, defending your line, and Cunningham is doing it textbook against Sam Doble. It's not making it easy, and Dobie's obviously executing some mistakes. You're going to have to wonder, as he's applying more pressure onto Roy Cunningham, what kind of heat he's generating with those tires, and when is it going to get to the point that it's going to affect his pace?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we're definitely quite a few laps into it. These cars are definitely up to temp here. Now it's a matter of not getting them too hot. At first you want to heat them up, but now you want to kind of keep them at that right temperature there. As Mark Winfield's still trying to battle it out for that 5th position. He may just be kind of hanging back. You never know. As Sebastien, some guys ride a lot better when there's a car in front of him. Not sure how he's going to play it out. Maybe he's just biding his time, logging some laps, and maybe he's going to be making a move later on. We'll keep an eye on it.
Winfield has a run out of turn 14, that's for sure. He's driving through 14 much better than Bourgine did there. Now the draft is coming into play as they finish past the start-finish line, but Winfield again can't do much with that in turn 1 as Bourgine takes up the middle of the entire racetrack as he goes through turn 1 just to fend off Winfield, who has to brake more.
Yep, that's right. And I don't know if we can get. I'll keep an eye on this Sebastien and Mark Winfield a little battle here. Can we get a word in on with Jimmy? Not a word with him, but check the status of his car. Think he's got any damage or anything?
Jimmy appears to have some rear wing damage from that spin out, and it's on the right hand side of that rear thing. It looks like it has somewhat of an impact. His pace now is falling down to 158s. He's running 158s. His fastest was a 158.029. The last lap was a 158.803. It looks like he's just doing a lot more work with his throttle inputs and his steering inputs in order to keep the car up to speed. And he's gathering himself into a line here.
Well, I'm just glad he was able to keep it on out there. As we did see him lose it on the carousel, but good for him. He's out there running 4th position. Hopefully the damage won't hurt him too bad. But not a race ender, so that's good.
Sam Doble and Cunningham already navigating some lap traffic of probably that of Sean Wiltshire. Sam Doble was a little late out of turn 14, and now there's some distance between Roy Cunningham. Cunningham looks like he's never been more determined to run his line, and there's some distance developing. Doble a second behind Roy Cunningham.
Yep, that's right, and the closest battle we got right now is still Mark Winfield and Sebastien for that number 5th position. Let's see if Mark Winfield, after turn 14 here, can try to make a run at it. I know in turn 1 you may see Sebastien kind of ride the middle of the road here, middle of the track, trying to just look to defend here. But Mark Winfield wants to just catch as much draft as he can, maybe set something up for Moraine's sweep. You never know.
Winfield has to take faith in that going through turn 1, not brake too much, so that way he keeps close to the bumper of Sebastien Bourgine. He needs to make use of that distance in order so he's tight on him as they're entering Moraine's sweep to overtake. He didn't do a good job there in the last few laps. He's been unable to successfully execute that maneuver to get him into an overtake opportunity.
Yep, that's right, and it's interesting to note that Roy Cunningham on that last lap did post the fastest lap so far in the race with a 156.2, so he's really flying.
The distance between Roy Cunningham and Sam Doble is increasing as Sam Doble may have put on too much pressure too consistently, where his tires are starting to affect that of his pace. Those tires, when they get too hot, start to turn into jello, and they are hard to keep. It's hard to keep a line with a tire that gives away so easily. It aids to oversteer, and unfortunately that car becomes super slippery as Dobie's trying to make gains back up on Roy Cunningham.
Yeah, that's right, and we know that these guys have some in-car adjustments that they can make. They can actually adjust the front and rear anti-roll bar while in the car driving, along with their brake bias, so you never know if these guys are starting to feel a little oversteer or understeer. Maybe they'll make some small adjustments. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But we are here at beautiful Road America. I'm here with Judson Kane, and this is a Grip TV broadcast of the classic Lotus Grand Prix, and we're just watching Roy Cunningham and Sam Doble battle it out for first place here as the season winds down and championship points are on the line. And it's been a wild one, folks, as our very own Jimmy Broadbent's out there running 4th position, seeking that podium. let's see how it plays out with only 14 minutes left to go, or 14 laps rather to go here. Will Sam Doble be able to make another pass on Cunningham? We saw it earlier on. Now the gap is up to 1.3 seconds. We'll see if Roy Cunningham is able to just put Sam Doble out of his mind and just run his race and finish this thing out.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about control arm adjustments while you're in the race is that does not help tire heat. Once your tire heat gets to a certain point, there is very little you can do other than slow the pace of your car down and reduce the amount of tension you're putting on those tires, because adjusting those control arms and increasing that only puts more weight load on these tires, which obviously causes more heat. So Doble in a very tough situation and has a lot on his hands as he witnesses oversteer on the exit of the carousel. Throttle inputs early as he's really trying to find what his new line is going to be against Cunningham. Cunningham driving away with it, just driving his own line. It could have been an act of brilliance for Cunningham, how he can maintain a car under such pressure early on. This reminds me of the battle over at Interlagos, Matt, between Espelin and Francois Bucos. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is a lot of fun to watch, and just taking a look back on Mark Winfield as him and Sebastien head through the carousel, one of the most hardest turns on the track, but they're looking for that 5th position. You're right, we see these guys battling it out all the time, as it looks like Sam Doble may have had an issue. Let's take a look. Coming through turn 14, Sam Doble gets it loose, almost spins it around. He's able to, looks like he might have got a 2X for loss of control as he was 90 degrees to the track surface, gets it back going. Very unfortunate for him. Sam Doble, man, that number 1 car, he had the pace. Not sure, 13 laps to go if he's going to be able to get caught back up to Roy Cunningham, which just took a even bigger deep breath now that he's way out in the clear now. But unfortunate for Sam Doble getting it loose. But we talk about these cars. Whoa, and we got some lap traffic here with Mark Winfield trying to get around, still trying to work on Sebastien.
Yeah, now the implication of Sam Doble's car, if that tire heat, which seems like number 1 culprit for that oversteer incident that he is experiencing, is how Robert Simpkins can leverage Doble's certain condition. Simpkins is a fast driver and obviously has some huge impact as far as the standings go, as Simpkins is a major player in the top 20 of the race of this series, the championship series. Can Simpkins take over Doble, as Doble may have burnt his car out in this race, trying to risk it all for that 1st position?
Well, that's the thing, that risk first reward is, whoa! And Sam Doble loses it again. Man, he's really burnt them tires up. We're going to try to see exactly what happened. It happened right before they went to the carousel, and now Robert Simpkins is in 2nd place here. Yep, got loose right before the carousel, looks like. So very unfortunate for Sam Doble. He may have just burned up his tires a little bit too much. Very unfortunate, but we got a new 2nd place, Simpkins 2nd place.
Broadbent now has the opportunity against Sam Doble. It could be that his patience in which he's shown how he can make gains into a top 5 finish in Suzuka could pay off here at Road America. Sam Doble, as he's trying to get his car under control. Again, the only thing to answer tire heat is by slowing your pace down and not sliding this car around as much. Reduce the friction on the tires. The unfortunate thing is Broadbent's eaten up that time, and this could be a podium opportunity for Jimmy if he can live up to the occasion. Go get him, Jimmy.
Yeah, go get him, Jimmy. And as we know, Jimmy Broadbent, one of our very own Grip TV members, and to watch his in-car view, head on over to twitch.tv/Jimmy_BEE. He is a stinging bee, Jimmy Broadbent, looking to get podium as Sam Doble's still having issues. And, we saw Jimmy have his issues early on in the race, but he seems like he's really settled in now. Got some little bit of damage there to his back spoiler, but if he can put it together here with 12 laps remaining, he may be getting podium.
Winfield now 2 seconds behind Sebastien Bourgine. Looks like Sebastien was able to fend off Mark Winfield, as Mark Winfield's been experimenting on ways that he could take advantage of Bourgine in an overtake.
Yeah, not too sure what happened with Winfield. He was a little bit off the pace there with a 2-minute 0.4 in that last lap. May got a little loose there, not sure. But hopefully he can get caught back up and still try to battle for that 5th position.
Sam Doble looks like he's regained himself a little bit of composure as he's starting to bear down on the rear end of Robert Simpkins. So Jimmy may be out of distance from Sam Doble, because Sam Doble's looking like a completely different driver now with his car.
Yeah.
Something must have happened.
Yeah, you never know. He might have made some in-car adjustments, got those tires cooled off as he almost loses it there. Holy cow, Sam Doble. We're just riding right above the cockpit here with Sam Doble as he's eyeing Robert Simpkins down, and he just wants to get his second place back. Heck, this guy was running first place at one point, but number one car, Sam Doble, trying to do everything he can as he gets loose again. Oh, no, and he spins it around. Oh, no, and this may give Jimmy... Oh, and he does a perfect 360. That'll give him 100 XP points. And he's back on the track. Holy cow, a very scary moment there as Sam Doble almost threw his race away there.
Jimmy coming around turn 14 on his way up Road America straight. Can he catch Doble? Doble... I may have spoken too soon. It looks like the tires are still very unpredictable for him as he's pushing the car. It's going to be, can Jimmy come up to the occasion by driving consistent laps? Does he have faith in his own developed race line? Does he have faith that he's making gains on Doble? And can he come up to the occasion as the race is winding down?
Yeah, he was able to cut down about 3 seconds off the gap there. Sam Doble did that wild 360. And like you said, it is about consistency. And whether or not Sam Doble can keep it together here for 11 more laps, we'll find out, as Mark Winfield is still working on Sebastien there for the 5th position. This has been a fun battle to watch all race. Mark Winfield, Sebastien really battling it out there in the number 10, number 8 car. Fun to watch. See how that pans out. That is the closest battle we have right now.
Yep, and that is, we're getting to a point where there's be some urgency. If Winfield wants to overtake that position, he's going to have to start doing some more risky maneuvers to get there, because we're running out of time here, Matt, and that urgency can change a driver's personality very quickly. It's time to get a little selfish, Mark Winfield. Go get that position.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Like you said, it's getting down to crunch time here, and maybe he's just kind of sitting back doing his homework. You never know. Sebastian's still just running his line there. That's all you can really do. Mark Winfield not quite up far enough to where Sebastien has to change his line at all. And through the carousel they go. And, championship points are on the line, folks, so... any type of a good finish here is definitely well worth it, as the gap definitely now has decreased.
Winfield peeking on the inside as they come around Canada corner. He falls back in line with Bourgine. It looks like that might be the favorable turn in which Winfield is going to take advantage of one of these laps. They're on their way over to the Road America straight. Tight again. Can Winfield drive a faster line through this last turn down Road America straight and get all over Bourgine? The pressure is on, and it is up for Winfield in order to come and deliver on this occasion to get that 5th place position.
Yep, and just a note, John G. Hill went on into the pits there. John G. Hill into the pits, number 2 car. Very unfortunate. Wasn't able to put anything together for this race, but not sure what happened. But John G. Hill in the pits as we continue to watch Mark Winfield pressure Sebastien here for that 5th position. Let's see if he can make a run at it here through 3-4, through Marine Sweep. You're going to get a lot of draft here. See how he uses it.
John G. Hill probably weighing out what the damage was on lap 1. John G. Hill obviously may be racking up some incident points, so pitting and getting some repairs so he has a reliable car to finish this thing out is very wise as far as the championship goes.
Yeah, and that'll give Lucas Kirek 8th place, as John G. Hill is out of his car right now. Unfortunate, but maybe he's just talking with his pit crew. Not sure if they were able to get that car going here or not, but yeah, just a wild race here as we saw some fireworks on lap 1 with some of those guys. And that's what we talked about, with having a good start, trying to get as many positions right off the bat, and sometimes they can bite you, but... Mark Winfield here going through the carousel. You see how those cars just slide through there. You want to be on the throttle as soon as you can. Get that car turned around. Whoa, and going through the kink into the kettle bottoms. Mark Winfield's right on him. Let's see if he makes a move.
Winfield complacent behind Bourgine yet again. This anticipation is starting to drive me crazy as Winfield has been fastest through that sector. They're on their way back to the last turn before Road America straight. Can Winfield find extra legs through this turn and get a run on Bourgine, as Bourgine had a shallow line? Winfield a lot closer than he has been in the past to Bourgine as they're coming up the straight across the start-finish line. The draft is going to start increasing his car speed very quickly here. Bourgine taking the middle. Winfield dipping to the outside, back in line. Bourgine taking that defensive very wide down the middle of the track of turn 1. Winfield, there's nothing he really can do, and he brakes too hard and puts too much distance between Bourgine and Winfield, into turn 3 as they're going down the next straight. So he's going to have to wait for the next lap.
Yeah, that's right. And Winfield with a 0.2 faster lap than Sebastien on that last time around. You noticed Sebastien with that really shallow turn-in on 14 as Mark Winfield really used the entire track. And I really thought Mark was going to try to make a move there, as he had definitely a run on him, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, Bourgine is using up a lot of track to make sure that Winfield can't get to either side of his car. It's been the thing that held Mark Winfield off this entire race. Mark Winfield's going to have to try to find something else in this track to overtake on, and I really think it's going to be Canada Corner. He's very quick through this carousel in comparison to Bourgine.
Yeah, that's very true, and at this point, Mark Winfield's got about three pages of homework that he's done of notes on Sebastien Bourgine, so he knows exactly what kind of driver he is. Probably raced with him before, so Mark may just be kind of holding back, waiting for a mistake, but he knows where he's faster and slower, and with only 8 laps to go, Mark Winfield's definitely got to put something together here.
Sam Doble only within 2 seconds of Robert Simpkins. He's starting to mount an attack again. Now, can he attack Robert Simpkins for that second place position? Sam Doble been battling the effects of overheated tires, which creates very inconsistent oversteer in random places in which that car just literally comes about. Sam Doble making a charge. There could be a battle for the last couple laps to really secure that second place. It ain't over for Simpkins.
Yeah, that's very right. And Robert Simpkins running a 157.1, but Sam Doble, holy cow, his last lap was a 155.8. He made up some ground there, I'd say. So Sam Doble's not done yet with that number 1 car, looking to regain that second position.
There's nothing more terrifying for a driver than to see once a car that was not in your rearview mirror show up all of a sudden again in a matter of a lap. Sam Doble really enclosing the grounds as Robert Simpkins was probably pacing himself through the race just to ensure that he keeps consistency up to get the second place. Doble has oversteer through the carousel as he's throttling it hard, trying to find every ounce of energy in which he can catch Robert Simpkins, but it ended up hurting him. Those are the impacts of this car as you get it into the later parts of this race. Fuel low, tires hot, Doble really trying to find something. Simpkins now starting to pick up the pace as he sees Doble in his rearview mirror. He doesn't want Doble within striking distance because the amount of pressure that Doble can put on a driver to force mistakes is unbearable. There's only one other driver that I know in this series who can show that kind of pressure while keeping his car in control, and that is of Julio Cesar Hauer. And Doble really starting to get into a striking distance of Robert Simpkins, and Simpkins needs to prepare to defend.
Yeah, that's right, and I bet we might see some more fireworks here as Sebastien and Mark Winfield are still going at it. Sebastien really doing a great job because, we always talk about, don't drive while watching your rearview mirror, and Mark Winfield's been in Sebastien's rearview mirror the entire race, and it's just a testament on Sebastien's discipline to be able to just keep it going and ride in his own line.
It's been the little nuances on how Sebastien's defended his line and which kept Mark Winfield at bay, and it's getting to the point where Winfield is losing hope as far as getting an overtake on Bourgine. So can he find the legs? Can Sam Doble find the legs to get second place back? Can Simpkins use his defensive strategy to hold Doble at bay? It's all coming to head here as we're coming down to the last few laps.
Yep, that's right. With only 7 laps to go, Sam Doble still working on Simpkins. Just to take a look at some of the standings here, Roy Cunningham, he's just way out in front there with because they had some issues there with Sam Doble, but it's Cunningham, Simpkins, Doble.
Doble oversteer.
Doble with some more oversteer through the carousel. Man, he's just really trying to push it as much as possible. But Jimmy Broadbent running 4th, Sebastien 5th, Mark Winfield 6th, Randy 7th, and Lucas 8th. And this a great race here with the classic Lotus 79 right here on Grip TV. Thanks for joining, everyone, as we're getting into the final laps.
Doble through Canada Corner is now making huge runs on Robert Simpkins. Robert Simpkins has no answer to what Dobie's putting together. This oversteer is something and he's over.
Doble couldn't save it this time. Can he keep it off the wall? Crack right into the wall. He touched it. And let's see if Jimmy's coming into the Canada Corner right now. Let's see if Sam Doble
20 seconds.
Oh, no. Can Sam Doble get it back on the track and get it recovered there? Now his tires are all heated up and all crazy, so he's going to take it easy. Jimmy Broadbent coming through Bill Mitchell Bend right now. He sees the tire marks on the ground. He's watching his F3 bar. He knows exactly what happened with Sam Doble. Jimmy Broadbent's really trying to cut it there. Sam Doble coming through the start-finish line. Yeah, and Jimmy Broadbent, holy cow, now it's, it's just Sam Doble. Man, can he get back on the race pace here?
Doble was 10 seconds from Jimmy and was able to amount about 20-second differential from Jimmy over the matter of a few laps. Jimmy Broadbent now within 10 seconds. Doble really risking it all. I mean, unbelievable. He's putting everything out there for a good position here, risking it all, not satisfied with third place. This is exactly what I like to see in a race series.
Yeah, and you can't, Jimmy's just got to be careful that he doesn't try to overdrive the car because he knows that Dobie's having some issues based on his F3 information. So Jimmy's just got to keep doing his consistent laps. He's been doing damn good here since his little issues early on. So, there's nothing much Jimmy can do is just keep on riding, and hopefully Doble can make some more mistakes. Well, that's what Jimmy's thinking anyway. But Doble, now he's probably just thinking, let's just bring this sucker home and get a podium. As Jimmy's able to get it down to 10 seconds now.
I don't think Sam Doble knows what the heck you just said. I don't think that's ingrained in his brain. I don't think he can comprehend and just get it done. Yeah. Doble is ripping it through. I mean, absolutely embracing the oversteer, and it's those tires that just give away on certain points where he's risking it all, and he just gets the nastiness of it. He's still pushing as hard as can be, as if he can catch Simpkins. There is no belief here that he can just give it up. That third place is good enough, and that is the heart of a driver, of a competitor. And that's definitely what really makes this interesting.
Yep, and Sam Doble had a taste of what it was like running in first here. He did pass Roy Cunningham early on in the race. Roy Cunningham was able to get back around him, but Sam Doble, you're right. I think he still wants to try to win this thing with only 4 laps to go. 159.6 there from Doble, 158.8 there from Jimmy Broadbent.
Yep, 9 seconds now, the difference between Sam Doble and Jimmy. So Jimmy is gaining on him, and Jimmy is going to have to find more legs in order to catch him faster with how many laps are left. The window is starting to close for Jimmy Broadbent to get this podium finish.
Yeah, that's right, and we got to go back to our leader, Roy Cunningham, just to give you an idea. He ran a 157 flat on the last one. His fastest lap's a 156.8, so just to go to show you there the standard that these guys have to meet. Just some really great talent with this series.
Doble held up a little bit with that of Lucas Kurek on turn 6. That slowed him down even a little bit more. Jimmy Broadbent could have an opportunity. It's a very slim opportunity as Sam Doble's back on pace on his way through the carousel.
Yep, and the gap now is down to 8 seconds. Jimmy Broadbent just kind of riding his own line, hoping for Doble to make another mistake, and we've definitely seen that. It's kind of been the story of the race here with Doble's tires and really him thrashing it around. But, yeah, with only 5 laps to go, something's got to give here soon if Jimmy wants a podium. Taking a look back at number 11 car, that was the number 11 car, Lucas.
Mark Winfield oversteering the carousel, went off track, is now back on, and there's more distance between Bourgine and Winfield now.
Yeah, it looks like about a 4-second gap here as we're just taking a look at the replay, him going through the carousel. And, yeah, it gets, oh, man, that's a scary moment as the car can turn around real quick. Great recovery there. And
now, if you haven't seen this, we will be gearing up for the Lotus 79 Grand Prix as Season 2 is going to start with the following week. If you haven't checked it out, please go to griptv.org, hit the follow button of ShowDown 1983, hit the follow button of Jimmy_BEE, the Stinging Bee, Jimmy Broadbent, who's competing in this. We are going to be doing full coverage of these races and more. If you like what you see, please come hang out with us. The Grip Nation is one of the best communities when it comes to racing simulation.
Yeah, it really is, and we've met a lot of good people, a lot of good racers. It's just really fun to be involved in the community. It's fun hanging out with you, Judson, up in the booth here with our lemonades, and it's just a wild day here at Road Americas. The sun's shining, and these guys are really ripping and roaring here as Roy Cunningham, our leader right now, number 5 car, Roy Cunningham, had a little brief incident with Doble early on. Was running second place for a while, but was able to regain that top position, and if he can hold it out for only 4 more laps, he's going to bring home the 50-pound gold trophy that's given out every time they do an official race here.
Doble now on a consistent lap time of high 159s. Jimmy sitting about mid 158, so that's a second a lap now that Jimmy's gaining on Sam Doble. But is there enough distance to really get Broadbent caught up to Doble? Is there enough laps? Is there enough time? It's all coming to head literally on this on the last lap.
Yeah, it really is, and we're just getting a little bit closer look of that back-end wing damage that Jimmy Broadbent did suffer early on. And really, I mean, he's been able to really persevere through that. Doesn't look like it's holding him up too much. We'll take a look at, as he crosses the line here, what kind of lap times he's running. The last one he ran was a 158.1, which was better than a Sam Doble. Doble able to pick up a 157.6 right now. A 157.6 for Broadbent as well. That's as close as you can get there, folks. So really close times here. Look how he slides it through turn 1 there, getting the car sideways. That's how you drive them. That's how you get the fast lap times. As these cars, there's almost 2 steering wheels. The steering wheel in your hands and the steering wheel on your right foot.
Steering wheel in the hands guides the car in the direction in which you want to go, but the steering happens with your right foot, and that's why dancing the throttle is so critical with these cars. It all comes from the rear end, and it really is magical to watch these guys manipulate the car.
Yeah, and unfortunately we see Mark Winfield having some issues. We're going to take a look as he got loose and got off. He's heading into, I believe that's turn 3. Yep, spins it around on turn 3. Very unfortunate, because I really thought he had the pace on Sebastien. They were battling out for quite a while, but he's going to recover. And he's running 6th place right now. So unfortunate for Mark Winfield, unable to keep it consistent here. But Sebastien, I got to give it to Sebastien, one of the most disciplined racers I've seen today. Really able to, get through all the pressure and all the pressure that Mark Winfield was giving him early on, and really showing strong running there, running 5th right now.
Yeah, you would imagine Roy Cunningham and Sebastien Bourgine over the fish fry later tonight. They're going to be exchanging similar stories on how they were able to use their defensive tactics to hold the competition at bay. Both those drivers had a fantastic drive today.
Yeah, lots of fun to watch, and I'm pretty sure we saw all the action here, right here live on Grip TV, as we try to get you all the good racing action here as it happens live. And Sebastien really working it there with that number 10 car. So it'd be a great showing for him if he finishes this one out, as we only got a couple laps to go here. Roy Cunningham, 2 laps to go before he gets that gold trophy and be sitting on top of that podium.
Jimmy Broadbent 6 seconds from Sam Doble.
Yeah, he's really been able to whittle down that gap, as Sam Doble at this point may be just kind of logging laps at the end here, just trying to bring it home. What do you think is his mindset now?
Well, here's the thing. Doble's pushing hard. That's why you're seeing still fast lap times, but his inconsistency is literally the limitations of the car under the demand of Road America. Jimmy, too, is seeing opportunity. He posted his fastest lap of a 157.106 on lap 22, which was this past one. So he's still pushing hard, thinking that there's an opportunity that he can get Doble. there's probably a train of thought for Jimmy that Doby is now running his paces, and so if he were to catch up, it would take a bit for Doby to get back into competitive form, especially how demanding these cars are. So both of these guys going really hard. I bet you Jimmy was a little bit shocked that posting his fastest lap of 157.106 was not enough to close the door even faster. So he's getting an inkling that Doby is still fast.
Yep, that's right. Roy Cunningham is on his final lap right now, as a white flag has flown here at Road America for the Classic Lotus Grand Prix Thursday Strength of Field race, as Roy Cunningham is going to be bringing it home if he can keep it clean, and he's going to be walking away with that beautiful trophy. He's coming around into Maureen Sweep, turn 5. Just really shows some really good consistency on that number 5 Lotus 79. Look at that car, folks. It's as clean as you can get it. Looks like it just come off the showroom floor, and that's a really big part of these races, to be able to keep those cars clean. So white flag here at Road America. Roy Cunningham bringing it home. Robert Simpkins running in second place. Sam Doble still in third. And Jimmy Broadbent able to close the gap just a little bit. The gap now is at 5.8 seconds between Jimmy and Sam Doble.
Both of them exchanging 157s, Matt.
Yep. Very consistent. Jimmy's got the pace. You just have to wonder what could have been if Jimmy didn't have those issues early on. What kind of different type of race this would have been. But
what could have been if we would have had Sam Doble and Julio Cesar Hauer in the top 3, both who are known to apply so much pressure on drivers. This could be a completely different image of a race. The opportunities here were so huge as far as what could have been, as far as a spectacle to be seen here.
And Roy Cunningham, number 5 car, bringing it up around the straightaway, crosses the start-finish line, and he is your winner. Congratulations to Roy Cunningham. He'll be bringing home that 50-pound gold trophy. Hopefully he can fit it in his Lotus 79. As Robert Simpkins coming around. Bill Mitchell Bend right now setting up for the last turn, turn 14. Very good race by Robert Simpkins, able to avoid some incidents there and bring it on home for second place, number 4 car. Very impressive. Robert Simpkins getting second place. And Sam Doble, well, the eventful Sam Doble, the entertaining Sam Doble, the high-flying 360 Sam Doble brings it around in that number 1 car, getting third place to finish out the podium. And that gap between him and Jimmy Broadbent was at 5 seconds, as Jimmy Broadbent coming up, limping it home with a little bit of damage on his back wing. That's all right, folks. He's getting 4th place in that number 3 car. Very impressive showing by our very own Jimmy Broadbent. And Sebastien, I'd say my racer of the race, driver of the race, Sebastien, able to keep it disciplined out there in that number 10 car, bringing it home, rounding out your top 5, 5th place for Sebastien. And Mark Winfield, man, I feel for Mark. He could have made a run on Sebastien, had some issues, but he's going to bring home 6th place in that number 8 car. And Randy Hesh is going to bring it around. He's coming around Bill Mitchell Bend right now to finish this one out. And if he can keep it clean through here, he's going to be picking up 7th place in that number 7 car. So he's doing exactly what iRacing wants him to do. And Lucas Kirek, a couple laps down, the only other car not on the lead lap that's still running. But hey, number 11 car, Lucas Kirek, bringing home 8th place here in a Strength of Field Thursday, so not too shabby. And just to mention, John G. Hill, Sean Wiltshire, and Julio Hauer, unable to finish out the race, had to retire early. But holy cow, Judson, what a race. Great battles. And Jimmy Broadbent able to bring home 4th place, representing Grip TV very well. But again, you have to wonder what could have been if he was able to keep that clean. But you can't go back now. This is how it finishes out. There'll be many more in the future, though, for him to really prove what he's got. But congratulations once again to Roy Cunningham on winning this sucker. So Yep.
This is a fantastic conclusion of the season 1 of 2014 for the Lotus. So high expectations as we're going to be traveling to season 2. Obviously, we found a very special race series to be following, and I really look forward to it.
Yep, and we started doing these broadcasts a couple races ago, and we're really just gearing up for season 2 as well. Season 2 with these guys. These guys are trying to get in with their teams and get their liveries going, and Jimmy's kind of using the end of season 1 here, just kind of a practice trial, a practice run to try to get up to speed, kind of meet the guys. It's fun to get involved with the Lotus 79 community, and let me tell you what, folks, season 2. You're not going to want to miss one lap of Season 2 because it's going to be just as exciting as what we've seen here today as Jimmy Broadbent takes it on into the pits. And once he gets in there, gets his helmet off, gets his fire suit off, gets that car turned off, we might have a word with him to see just how that race went here from a driver perspective as Sebastian's following him on in there. But what a great race from the guys here at Road America, and I'm just happy that Grip TV was here, able to cover it, and we had all our special cameras out there that we installed beforehand to get you all the best views possible as Jimmy and Sebastien are bringing into the pits right now. And we're going to try to get a word in with Jimmy Broadbent. And Jimmy Broadbent bringing it home for 4th place. Up in the booth here with Judson. Jimmy, you got a copy?
Hey guys.
Holy cow, folks! There was not a dull moment here as we watched you guys rip and roar through Road America on this beautiful day here for a great race. And man, we saw some fireworks early on. Can you take us through the race? What happened there? What was your experience out there today?
Well, the start was fairly normal. I had a really decent start, but I had nothing to do with it. I had to just stop and wait behind the guys in front of me, which is kind of the nature of this grid. It's a little bit of a tight grid, but that's how it went. Got down to, I think it's turn 5, the bottom, and then I think it was Julio made a mistake and then went round and collected John, and that was me in 3rd place, so I was pretty happy there. And then kind of continued round, and I thought I was just taking myself. Taking a nice easy way around, and I just made a silly mistake coming in the carousel, went a bit too wide, put it off and spun, and I had a bit of damage to the rear end. After that, it was just basically damage limitation, bring it home. I thought I could catch Sam at the end because he had made a mistake, and I got it down to 5 seconds. I put in my best laps at the end of the race with low fuel. It was pretty ragged at the end, but he was just too quick for me. So 4th place, I'm kind of semi-happy with that. I think I could have done better this race, but 4th. I had a 4th, a 5th, and a 4th DNF in 4 races, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's right, and we did see that a little bit of damage there to your rear wing. How did that affect you throughout the race? Because we saw you really be able to get into a groove there. It didn't seem like that damage had too much an effect on you. How bad was it?
Well, I was lapping the same sort of times throughout the entire race, basically. So I think that it did slow me down a bit. I'm not quite sure where it did slow me down, but it did. Only when the car was on really low fuel did I really feel like it was, being nice to me again. But I'm more annoyed at the mistake itself because I was worried I could get away with what I got away with. But I think that Simpkins I think it was Simpkins behind me at the time. He would have caught me anyway. He was really quick in that race. I think he ended up coming 2nd from memory.
Yep, that's right. Simpkins with 2nd place. Man, we saw Sam Doble have his issues with some oversteer. Maybe you lit up the tires a little bit too much. Now, I know you have a black box and able to see different information. Were you aware of Sam Doble's issues during the race?
Well, I've got my own little pit radio here in the form of a Twitch chat. They let me know that Sam had a spin, and I saw that his relative came down by 10 seconds. I thought, okay, well, I'll give it a go. I put in my fastest laps of the race. Right at the end, I kind of just stepped it up and started doing a second of that quicker. Just there is time in the car, but I wasn't really. I thought that my race was done a long time before that, so I was just cruising around pretty much. But maybe if I hadn't have had that mindset, I would have had a better chance to catch him.
Seems like a lot in this racing is so far in all these races that we've seen. Your biggest gains have happened when you demonstrate patience and driver discipline. Sam Doble at Suzuka and now again at Road America just threw everything at the barn, on the first lap, putting it in his all and exposing his car to all kinds of elements early on, which impacted his laps down the line as far as consistency could go. Jimmy, do you think next season is the overall key as we're going through this season to just demonstrate patience, keep your head in the game, know that it ain't over until the last lap is done, and how much of this consistency you gain back? Seconds after seconds after seconds, as Doby was flopping around with all kinds of different lap times, you were keeping it pretty consistent between low 158s and 157s. It seems like patience is the name of the game here with these Lotuses.
Yeah, it can be, but you need to be fast, full stop. I mean, I could have been doing 57s all day and I still wouldn't have caught the guys at the front. They were mega quick and they were coming across the line to start their last lap as I was just coming around the carousel. So a big gap between me and them. But, patience does pay off at the end of the day. And we saw at the start people getting a bit edgy, and I could have quite easily ruined 2 or 3 people's race at the start if I had chosen to push 3 wide right at the start of the race. But you got to think better of it. You got to race these guys for the full season. You got to respect everyone you're with, and they're all a community. So I don't want to annoy anyone. So I'm here to make friends. I'm here to race hard. I'm not here to race like a race recklessly, as you would put it.
Sure.
Yep, and we see from the start you were able to pick up 2 positions. Do you know anything about Sebastien? He was able to pick up 5 positions from the start. Bourgine, and man, we were watching him, just a very good racer out there. I know he wasn't threatening it too much, but have you ever raced with Sebastien?
That's the first time I've seen his name on the timesheet, so it was pretty cool to see some new blood, as you would put it. There was a point where I was a bit worried about him because he started gaining on me a bit, but I think that overall I had a bit more of a competitive setup than he did, and I was able just to spread the gap a little bit more towards the end when I was trying to catch Sam. But new season, a lot of new guys coming in, including Mr. Hemdall. So he'll be someone to try and beat. I think he's someone on my hit list. I managed to lap fast, and he did in qualifying. In my own sessions anyway, so I was happy with that. But
so we got some rivalries already brewing here, and the season 2 hasn't even started yet. We do know that this is starting to close up. Season 1, season 2 is starting up. What's going to be your mindset? What's going to be your kind of your practice schedule? How are you going to go into this season 2?
Probably take it a bit more serious than I've been here. I mean, I'd not say I've been taking this seriously. A bit more practice, a bit more cooperation. I'll probably be racing as part of a team next year as well, not just on my own. So I'll be part of a team. That's how the CTC Championship works, and really just a bit more cooperative. And hopefully that will help me, find the seconds I need where I'm lacking.
Well, we just can't wait for it. Season 2 is going to be wild. If it's anything like what we've seen so far, it's going to be must-see races, definitely. And just let everyone know where they can find you, and if there's any content on demand, where they can look for that.
Yeah, obviously, guys who are interested, you can catch me on YouTube under the name Jimmy Broadbent. I make iRacing videos and stuff like this. Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Jimmy_B, and I stream very regularly. iRacing, R-Factor 2, a set of course, whatever you can name sim-wise, I'm there racing it. So I'm pretty well known for that sort of thing. And also older sims as well. We're doing a series soon, probably looking at that. So you guys come check it out on my YouTube channel. But I hear your broadcast is pretty good, guys. So congratulations to you as well.
Yep, and thank you. I know I got all your internet websites all bookmarked, and I know how to follow you, Jimmy. So I'm always watching your stuff, and hopefully everyone else does too. But thanks for the insight from the race. Once again, congratulations, and we'll see you next season. It's going to be one heck of a season. Like I said, you're going to get a team going, so it's going to be fun to watch, and it's really going to be fun to watch everyone's progression through. And man, some of these guys are just so much fun to watch. But Roy Cunningham, man, he put on a show. Thanks again, Jimmy, for joining us here, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much. I'll catch you guys later.
Well, Judson, as we close out the broadcast, any final thoughts?
Yeah, it came down to defending your line, as we saw with Sebastien Bourgine against Mark Winfield. You saw it with Roy Cunningham and his perseverance over Sam Doble and his antics. Robert Simpkins keeping his head in the game to secure second place, taking advantage of opportunities of Sam Doble. It's just about keeping your head in the game. And so as we travel to these different racetracks over the season, as we witnessed kind of in the short term, 4 weeks, Jimmy Broadbent getting 3 top 5s over 4 races. It's really going to be that perseverance and driver discipline that's going to really make this thing interesting next season. So we'll take a week off, Malone, relax, get ourselves settled together for the next season, and we're going to bring a lot to it this next season as we're going to see these drivers go at it again.
Yep, that's right. Thanks for joining me up in the booth, Judson, and thanks everybody out there watching this live right here on Twitch. To check out any of the past races, check out the YouTube links below. As we close out the broadcast, get ready for Season 2. Happy Easter, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, nation.